Hey guys, it's Dan. Let's talk about surface area as it relates to a triangular prism like this one drawn here. So this is 5, this is 4, this is 7. We don't know what this hypotenuse is of that right triangle up there. We're gonna have to calculate that later. So we don't know what that is. There's two ways to do it. One way is to kind of take it apart and to really, when you're finding the surface area, you're just finding the area of all the surface sides. So the way I want to think about it is to do the area of the top and the bottom. The top would be this part up here, and of course it's the same as this down here. So the top and the bottom. Then the left, which I'm calling this piece here, the kind of that left rectangular side. Then the right side, which is I'm calling this, and then the back side, which would be this rectangle that's back here. So this is the old school way of doing it. I think this is the way we did it when I was a kid, and I'm, 58 and a half. So this is the old school way. But a lot of books are doing it a new way too. So I'm gonna show you both. Here's the old school way to find the area of the top and the bottom. So notice that in this picture, this bottom triangle has a side of 5 and a 7. 5 and 7, and it's a right triangle. See that little mark there? So this is a right triangle, this is a right triangle. And the top and the bottom areas are gonna be the same. So I'm doing the top and the bottom areas, and that's gonna be 1/2 times the base times the height. Well, the base is 5, the height is 7, or you can do that the other way around. So it's 1/2 5 times 7. 1/2 7 times 5 is 35 over 2, which is 17 and a half. I'm going to multiply that by 2 and call it 35, because that way I have the area of the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to do the left side. That's going to be easy. It's a rectangle that's 4 by 5, so that's obviously 20. And then I'm going to do the right side, which is this side right here. And notice if this is 4, this is 4, so that's a rectangle that's 4 by 7, which makes it 28. And then last but not least, I need to figure out what's the area of this backside rectangle. Well, this side is 4, but I don't know what that long length is there. So I'm gonna have to use the Pythagorean theorem. So thinking about the bottom side, if this is 5 and that's 7 and it's a right triangle, then a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the hypotenuse. So if I do the math on that, this is what it looks like. So 5 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. 5 squared is 25. 7 squared is 49. Add those together, you get 74. And you take the square root of both sides. So this length over here, this long length here, is the square root of 74. So I'm doing this rectangle, so it's 4 times the square root of 74. And notice that that's 34.41. So 4 times the square root of 74 is 34.41. If you add these all together, 35, 20, 28, that, you get 117.41. And that's square units, because we're talking about surface area. And I didn't put any units on mine. But if it was in meters, if these measurements were in meters, it would be meters squared for the surface area. So it's a squared measurement. So that's one way to do it. That's the old school way. I like this because it's very visual. You're kind of taking you're finding the area of each surface side. Now, the new way that a lot of books are doing it is using this formula. They're saying the surface area equals the lateral area plus 2 base areas. Well, the lateral area is the perimeter times the height. So if you go back over here to this problem, the perimeter is 5 plus 7 plus that measurement. Now, we already used the Pythagorean theorem, so we know what that measurement is. It's this. So that's the perimeter, the distance around that base. So if you add those together, 5 plus 7 plus the square root of 74, and multiply it times the height. So the lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height. So the perimeter of the base was 5, 7, square root of 74, and this is the height here, 4. So 4 times 5 plus 7 plus 74. So square root of 74. If you add all these together, multiply by 4, that's 82.4. You add these together first and then multiply by 4, you get that. We already know that the base area is 1/2 7 times 5, which was 17.5. We're doing 2 of them. So when you multiply this by 2, you get 35. That's why 2 area bases is 35. If you add those together, guess what? 117.4. So we get the same answer, but a different way. Either way, we had to use this Pythagorean theorem to find this third side of the triangle here, this one here, right across there. Anyway, so that's how to find the surface area of a triangular prism 2 ways. The old school way, where you take each little side and add them all together, and then this new way, I don't know how new it really is, but it's relatively new to me. I see this in a lot of the books today. Surface area. So 2 different ways of doing it. See ya.